Hello students. So students, in the previous class in this chapter, that is light, shadow and reflection, we had already discussed about light, we have discussed about shadow, and in the shadow part if we talk, so we have seen that what is shadow and how shadow is formed. So we have seen students, so basically this shadow, when it fall on an opaque object, then there is a formation of a shade area or dark area that is called as the shadow. Okay, now you see, if we will discuss about the shadow itself, so we have seen that basically the shadow depends upon the source of the light. It also depends upon the height. So there are some of the factors which decide that whether the shadow will be formed, will be a sharp shadow or it will be a faint shadow. It will be a sharp shadow when the light will fall on the opaque object, then the formation of the shadow will be the sharp one. If it will be fall on a translucent, then it will be a faint shadow, and if it will falls on a transparent object, then no shadow will be formed. We have also seen that if a bird is there flying near to that of the ground, so the formation of the shadow will be formed on the ground. So here the source is the sunlight, because sunlight is falling, object is the bird itself, and the ground is the screen where the formation of a shadow occur. Okay, now not only this student, but you will also see here that okay, bird shadow is formed. The second thing that is important to note, that if the bird is flying, then what happened? At that time no shadow will be formed. So the reason here, it is because the distance between the ground, means distance between the screen and the object is very far, so no shadow is formed. So it totally depends that how much close it is. So if it is close to that of the screen where the image will be formed, where will the shadow will be formed, only then the formation of a shadow can be seen to us. Okay, so these are some of the factors by which we can say that the shadow is formed faint, or a shadow which is formed that is a sharp shadow. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Now we have seen the characteristic of a shadow. Let me remind you by writing some of the characteristics, students. So we have seen that the shadow is basically what? It is erect. Now, let me tell you this, the shadow formed is an erect one, but when we see in case of a pinhole camera, we find that in case of a pinhole camera, the image which is formed, it is an inverted. So here in case of a shadow, it is erect, while if we talk about here shadow, in case of a shadow, it is erect, while in case of the pinhole camera, it is an inverted one. Then the next one, the image formed here in case of a pinhole camera. So in case of a pinhole camera, you will find that the image is formed, it is an inverted one. Now not only this, but if you see that what is the nature of the image formed by that of the shadow, it is a real one. And the reason is real because the image formed on a screen, and we are obtaining the image on the screen. So whenever we are obtaining the image on the screen, that is called as the real image. In case of a pinhole camera also, the image formed is a real one. Okay, next one, students, that color. So irrespective of what kind of a color of the object will be there, in case of the shadow, the image, the shadow's image will be black in color. It doesn't matter that what kind of a image it have. So we will say that it will always be black in color. But in case of a pinhole camera, the image color will be the same as that of the object. So we can say that image color will be same as that of object. Image color will be the same as that of the object. The next one, students, that the shadow is, it can be smaller, it can be bigger or equal to the object. Smaller, bigger or equal to the object. And here in this case, again the same thing, it can be smaller, it can be bigger or equal to the object. Okay, it can be bigger to that of the object. So you can understand here, student, in case of a shadow and pinhole camera, what are the things which we have to understand, okay, and how they differ from each other. So you see that all the other characteristic is simply the same, but the thing which varies here is that the color and the nature of the image. So here it is erect, here it is inverted, here the color of the image is black in color, here the color is the same as that of the object. Now moving on and see, so we have understood, till now we have understood here light, source of light, luminous, non-luminous object. We have seen natural and the man-made sources. We have seen pinhole camera. We have seen rectilinear propagation of light. We have seen shadow and characteristic and how they differ from that of the pinhole camera. So these two terms in this chapter we have understood well. Now moving on to the third topic, and the third topic is reflection. What is reflection? Let us try to understand that what is reflection, how reflection is important, what kind of reflection, what is the importance of reflection, and how reflection help in the formation of the images. Basically, if we talk about the reflection, students, in a simple term we can say that bouncing back of the light, and light is coming on a surface and it will get bounced back to the another direction, that is known as the reflection of the light. Okay, so we can write it the reflection of light. What is the reflection of a light, student? Reflection of light means process of bouncing back of the light. Okay, so we can write it the process of sending back, light rays which falls on a surface, okay, which falls on the surface of an object is called as reflection of light. Basically, what is reflection of light, students? So, it is the process of sending back of a light rays which falling on the surface of an object, that is called as the reflection of light. Okay. So basically what happened when a beam of a light fall on a surface, then what happened, the surface used to send back the light in another direction. And you see, students, this is the process that we call as reflection. Now the process of the reflection varies from the object to object. How? There are objects which used to reflect all the light which is falling on it. There are objects which send some of the light, means reflected some of the light. Okay, so it varies with the object to object. Now if we talk about the polished mirror surface. So if a mirror surface is what? It is a smooth surface. So when a beam of a light fall on a mirror surface, it will send back the light into another direction. Okay, that is called as the reflection of the light. So we can write some of the point that when a ray of light surface of the mirror at a point the light ray will get reflected. The light ray will get reflected. Okay. Now, reflected in another direction. Okay. And we can also write that if we are talking about the reflection, totally depend upon the different type of the object. Okay. So, we can write it, that is when a light ray falls on a smooth, polished mirror surface, then most of the light will get reflected. So most of the light will get reflected, but there are some of the objects, student, like that if a chair is there or a table is there, then what will happen when the beam of a light fall on that object? So very few amount of a light will be reflected. Okay, so we can write it that way. But if a beam of light falls on a chair or the table, then less amount of light will be reflected. Okay, then less amount of light will be reflected. Okay, students, so we can say that when light ray, it falls on a smooth surface, more amount of a light will be reflected. If it is falling on a rough surface, less amount of a light will be reflected. So reflection of light also depend upon the type of the object. If the object is smooth, so reflection will be much more, and if the object is not smooth, if it is rough, then the reflection will be much less. Okay. Now, if we see this, if we try to understand that, we can understand it with the help of a diagram also, students. That what happened basically when a light will fall on a surface, and then I will tell you each and every components present in it. Let me tell you in a simple word we can understand it. Like if suppose this is a mirror which is having a polished surface. So don't get confused. This one is the polished surface and this is the smooth surface, as you can see. So when a light ray falls on it, what will happen? This is what? This is an arrow I am showing. Actually this arrow shows the direction, that in which direction light is falling, in which direction light is moving. Okay, and when it falls on the surface, and this is smooth surface, it will get reflected into the another direction. So you can see these rays are explaining that it's first of all it is coming to the surface, and finally it will get reflected to the another surface. Okay, so that is a reflection. Okay, so you see here that a beam of a light, you can say. Now here we are taking only one of the light, student. One of the light means out of the whole beam of a light, if we will consider one light which is having an arrow in it, and we use a term for it, and that is called as ray. So out of the beam of the light falling on a mirror on a smooth surface, instead of that we will use the one ray of light. So we will use a term for it that is called as ray. So we can say that what is a ray? A ray is a narrow beam of light. A narrow beam of light is called as the ray, students. Okay, so when a ray, it is what it is, a straight line, student, consisting of a straight line having arrow in it falling on the smooth surface. Smooth surface. Okay. Arrow is there which is falling on a smooth surface. So basically that we call as a ray of light. Now when this light falls on the surface, on smooth surface, it gets reflected. Now this light which is falling on the surface of the mirror, that is called as the incident light. Okay, so incident light. So we can write here the definition of the incident ray or incident light. Why we are using here the term ray here? Because you see it is a narrow beam of a light. Okay, we are taking a small a very thin line of the light. So we can say, instead of using, you can say it is what? It is an incident ray. Okay, which is falling on the surface. So incident ray. What is an incident ray, student? Incident ray is the narrow beam of light falling on the surface of light. A narrow beam of light which is falling on the surface of light, that is called as a incident ray. Okay, incident ray which is falling on the surface of the polished surface. Now what happened after that? A ray of a light is also there which get reflected back, which bounce back into the another direction. So since it get reflected by that of the smooth surface, so we will use a term for it, and that is called as reflected ray. So one is incident ray, another is reflected ray. So we can say that the reflected ray, the ray bounced, or the ray get reflected, the ray gets reflected, called reflected ray. The ray which get reflected, that is called as a reflected ray. Okay. Here the incident ray or incident light, we will represent it by I. Okay. So here we can write it that it is represented by I, students. And while that of the reflected ray, it will be represented by small r. So instead of writing here incident ray or reflected ray, we can use in a simple word, and that is I or R. Okay. Okay. So So this is the incident and that of the reflected ray. Now what we will going to do, students, we will going to try to understand the other things, and that is that the object on which these rays fall, it means that of the incident ray and reflected ray fall on that of the mirror. Okay. So now we will try to understand that of the mirror, and then we will finally come back to this diagram again and try to understand some other things which is related to that of the reflection of the light. So you see, students, what we have seen here, up to here we have seen the reflected ray and that of the incident ray. Now let us see the polished surface, the smooth surface on which the incident and that of the reflected ray fall. So we will talk about the mirror. Now let us write some of the points which is related to that of the mirror here. So mirror is basically a shiny surface. It is a shiny surface which reduces the absorption and help in the maximum reflection of the light. So it is a kind of a polished or kind of a smooth surface which help in reducing the absorption of the light and help in making the light to get reflected. So more and more light will get reflected due to the presence of the shiny surface. So we can write the shiny surface reduces absorption which reduces absorption and of light and causes maximum reflection of light and causes maximum reflection of light. So we can say that an object which reflect well is called as mirror. Called as mirror. So you see, students, from this we can say that the object which is having the capability to reflect the maximum amount of a light which is falling on it, that is called as the reflection of that is called the mirror. So we can say here that mirror is what which is on any of the object which is very polished, very much polished and good reflector. Obviously, if it is a polished surface and having a smooth surface or a shining appearance is there, ultimately it will be a good reflector of the light here. Okay, now the kind of a mirror that we use, basically it is a silver mirror. Okay, so we can write it that silver is one of the best reflector of the light. So we can say that silver metal is one of the best reflector, which is one of the best reflector of light. One of the best reflector of light. It is used in making glasses every day. Basically, it is used in making glasses. So on the basis of that, we can say that silver is considered to be the best mirror or best reflector. So that's why it is used in the mirror here. Okay. Now, what kind of a mirror that we use in our everyday life, or you can see that a kind of a mirror that we use at our home, it is a plane mirror. So we can say the kind of mirror that we use every day, is a plane mirror. Is a plane mirror. Okay. Now, what is a plane mirror? Basically, when you look at the plane mirror characteristic, the thing that you will find that it is what? It is thin, smooth, flat, thin, smooth, flat, silver coating. Silver coating is also there on one side. Okay, so it is thin, smooth surface will help in a proper reflection of the light. Flat is there and silver coating is there. So whenever you will see the plane mirror, you will find that these all are the characteristic of the plane mirror. Okay. Now, if we look the other thing, students, that what is the use of using this silver metal? So first of all, we have already seen that silver metal will make the surface shinier, and if it will be more shinier, it will be a very good reflector. But not only this, you have seen in case of the silver, in case of a formation of a mirror, there is always a red paint is applied on the back surface. This red paint it helps in the reducing the transmission of the light. So we can say that silver metal, the first thing that we can write here, that is silver metal coating makes the surface shiny. Makes the surface shiny. Then shiny surface will help in maximum reflection of light. Maximum reflection of light. Okay. Now, a red paint is also used. So we can say that the red paint behind the silver surface reduces the transmission. Of light. Transmission of light through the mirror. Through the mirror. And also protect the mirror. So whenever the question is asked about the mirror, you will always write that the silver mirror is basically made up of a silver metal, and this silver metal will help in giving it a smooth and a shiny surface. If it is a smooth and shiny surface, maximum reflection of the light will take place, and that is why we used a polished and a smooth and shiny surface. Red paint which is applied on that of the silver surface, basically it helps in reducing the transmission of light through the mirror, also help in protecting the mirror. Okay, this is all about that of the mirror stains.